everything at the right time.
Right. I mean, they're playing a lot of tournaments each day, and they want to get to practice, so they are just bam, bam, bam.
Okay, and here we are, everybody. We are into this next game. We are going to be spawning on top of Golden, who is going to be... Actually, wait a second. He's going to be... Oh, they're actually... Oh, they are on red and blue normally. Alright, so Golden is going to be the red Zerg in the top right, going up against Stardust.LighT, previously known as Sunlight. He is the blue Protoss in the bottom left. Quantic's new pickup is showing to be quite strong. Light Esports really showed a dominating team presence in yesterday's qualifiers, and now Stardust is down 0-1 to Quantic's new pickup. This is a great way to begin the day, as this is the second game for today, and oh my god, is it great. Everybody should go vote for who will win.
Yeah, of course, everyone should do that. I still think people are going to be rooting for Stardust. He's just like one of those guys that really hooks you into a fan base. It's not something that you just go, yeah, I kind of like him, and then you just peel off. At least in my case, anyways, he hooked me instantly. So a little bias going on, but Golden Zerg player is playing great, very solid PvZ, and you can't help but respect that.
Without a doubt. And if you guys are, just so you know, the voting does get reset after every single game. So all of you already voted, vote for this game, because it's a different game. We could have a different outcome, different things can happen, and this is a map that is, I would say, Zerg friendly.
Yeah, but I mean, it used to be that like Zerg was like, oh, Zerg Daybreak, it's totally mine, and Protoss is like, oh my god. But I think now Protoss has gotten to a point where it's like, yeah, I'm okay with it. Not as okay with Zerg, I'd say, but Protosses don't mind it, and obviously Sasan didn't want to veto it, so he doesn't mind it at all. But does he have anything special planned after that last game? I mean, both players played a very solid macro game. Who's going to change it up first?
Yeah, this is a great map for doing Century Immortal play. Like, going for that
Right.
2-base start is something that's really big, but one of the things that you've seen Protoss do a lot to make sure that they're more okay with this map is doing interesting types of walls at the third, doing partial walls, full walls, trying to make sure that they can incorporate the Nexus in, having pylons, putting the cannons behind the pylons, creating circling tight areas that the Zerglings can't touch because of the cannons are being protected by buildings. All these small little techniques that are really helping Protoss defend against the multi-pronged aggression that is so strong in a map that has a wide open third, and the natural, you can enter both the third and the natural with not too much difficulty from a Zerg point of view.
Mm-hmm. I want to point out that another reason the Zerg really like this map is because you can easily gain advantage or gain sight of the Protoss's gases, so at least they know what's coming. Whether or not they can actually stop it is another question, but at least they know. So one Overlord parked at the Natural's gases will always see both of them, even if you have to suicide it, which you really don't have to. You will see both, or none, depending on what they get. But Golden should know what's coming. Should, not always, but some good Overlord placement. Daybreak can be very Zerg friendly when it comes to scouting.
Yep, and Stardust is doing a nice job of getting out his tech. He's playing it safe. I believe he actually might have gone for a Nexus first again. I didn't actually get
He
to see
did.
the timing, though. He did?
Yeah, he did. And yeah, just in a Forge and Gateway. So another standard one. I'm kind of surprised he didn't try, maybe in the next game he will, to get a Forge first and try and see if Golden has any scouting holes when it comes to get his bases. But, maybe he's already played Golden a few times and knows that that's not possible.
Yep, and something that's really powerful in this map is to actually try and sneak some cannons in behind over here, but with that Overlord buff and the speed, it actually becomes a lot less powerful, because as you can see, Golden is demonstrating a very powerful vision way of just making sure that he knows nothing is being thrown down over here.
Right, yeah, and he has 4 lanes out on the map, so 2 for the Zanaga, 1 to see what Sun does for his third, and another one just to scout purely for proxy pylons. A lot of Protoss builds, whether it's harassment or all-ins, really does count on a proxy pylon, so catching them at least gives you, hey, they're actually going to push right now, or in the off chance to actually be able to kill it, really helps you out.
And with all 4 of these gases getting taken, Stardust is not having anything that's going to be surprising Golden. Golden knows the possibilities. He just has to go ahead and narrow down what is going to be. But we see a very early robotics facility being thrown down now, and this makes me very much think that he will be going for more of that standard Protoss way of going for the Century Immortal play, because we are not seeing a Twilight Council being thrown down yet, which he did throw down in that last game.
Yeah, I was really, I was about to say, that's the key point, is he going to throw that Twilight Council that we saw last game? And it doesn't look like it. Unfortunately, though, Golden does scout everything. Like he scouts the lack of everything too. His overlords are just like, I'm seeing everything, man. You can't do anything about it because there isn't any anti-air in the field yet. Only just now a sentry popping out.
Yep, so Golden's third is now completed, so he is going to have a nice economy. If we take a look at the main base, he hasn't started mining the gas except for just now he starts throwing them in. So here we have his gas starting about basically 720 in terms of the mining for 3 gas geysers. So he will be able to get out his tech a little bit slower than he could have gotten, but not any means that's worrisome. It's just kind of odd to see the gases starting to be mined at 62 supply.
Yeah, that's very like, minute stuff though. So I'm sure he has some reasonings for it. Now we do actually see a Twilight Council being thrown down. It's actually almost done, and I don't think Golden saw that. No, nope, nope, he did not. Or yes, he did. No, he
Nope,
didn't.
he
Okay,
did not.
so if he actually moved in, he'd definitely be able to see it. That's actually in a very easy to spot location. So obviously, Stardust isn't banking on it being a surprise, and he's probably going to go for that early third once more, like he did in the last map.
Yeah, and he's actually even gotten the second forge as well, starting his armor upgrade. So you see this double upgrade style yet again from him. I like the fact that he's going for it, but not throwing down the forges so close together in terms of their timing. He's not trying to do like a weird double forge expansion thing to get super fast upgrades. I mean, theoretically, it's a plausible thing, but it's just a little unsafe, and especially when you're in a tournament setting, you don't want to give too big of a hole of an opening to your opponent, especially one such as Golden, who will take advantage of it.
Absolutely. And Stardust now has an observer going out. He's going to see the placement of the infestation pit. So at least he can confirm, hey, no Muto Scout in the field right now. And of course, the timing's always nice to know. Now, the third is going up for him, but Daybreak can be very difficult to actually face that multi-pronged harassment that some. Okay, I said Aspire wasn't going to go down, but it actually goes down. So that's a little more important. So is he going to go for that fast hive again? It doesn't look like it. Just Aspire.
Yeah, and with his hatchery going to the main base, he'll be able to get a lot of lings out with this style. The question is actually, this is kind of weird that the infestation pit is going down now as well as the spire. Usually you go for one or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was like, is he just gonna go for a fast hive? But he's building a queen at his lair, so that, usually like the time the spire and the hive up nicely, and he's not. So I don't know. Maybe he's just like, letting like room for openings to grow. I don't know. But same push out from San gets denied.
It could also just be a simple precautions, like, in the case of him going for Colossi, I may just want to be at
Yeah.
the capacity to get Corruptors if necessary, and I'll sacrifice a 200-200 to build a Spire, just to make sure that I just don't automatically die to another possibility.
That's always true. And Proxy Pylon does attempt to be brought down. He could force field. Yeah, he does. So it is going to go down. So this aggression will commence. But last game Golden slammed it pretty hard. He had some nice building placement to really help. And oh, nice force field catching a lot of those lings.
Oh, he could have gotten so much more, though. Just that one
Yeah.
small hole, like, let all of them out. So he could have just wiped Golden's army for free, but just wasn't quite able to hit that F button quickly enough.
Oh. Okay, so this is actually really smart by Golden to get that Spire. He sees, the composition of San's army, so he's like, you know what, that's not good against? Mutalisk, and he has 16 coming out right now, and let's just destroy the army of Stardust if he lets it.
Yep, now we see there's a nice better set of forces, but the proc gets picked off, so no more forward proxy pilots. This one's still in a good spot, but we need to see the Stalker reinforcements coming in, otherwise these mutas are going to have a field day, just wrecking everything apart. But this third is also quite vulnerable. There's only one photon cannon, and it's not going to be covering the top half. There we have a second one being thrown down now, but where are the mutas coming out? There we go. They're coming across the field, and they're going to skip the proxy pylon.
I like that. He still thinks he has a surprise factor. Unfortunately, Stardust did see it thanks to an observer in very key places, so he has at least a little anti-air, but not enough. He does need a few more warp-ins to really take on almost 20 Mutalisks, but I'm not sure if this trade is something that Golden wants. I don't know, it's really hard to tell right now. It seems like he's winning, though. No
Yeah,
cannons to help his Stalkers.
yeah, the Stalkers are starting to get to a very low number where mutas can engage them one-on-one, but they can't engage them when they are near cannons. So Golden's just picking off these really key pylons. He's going to take a couple shots from these cannons. He's going to try and hit the Stalkers as they warp in because they take that double damage, but still, these mutas are taking a lot of hits now. In fact, this is starting to become very not beneficial, but he's still the splash damage is hitting probes, and that is something that Golden likes, but I think he's just sacrificing the mutas now.
Yeah, that's really weird. Like at first I was like, oh, maybe he's just like, usually more aggressive with his mutas, but that was definitely an overstep unless he's just but he's not throwing away his mutas, he's building more. So that was definitely just an overstepping right there. And he didn't really take out that many probes either, so only 5 going down right now.
But he is still being able to do more damage, but look at the Stalker. It doesn't cost quite as much as the mutas, but now that we have the capability for Guardian Shields and the Sentries coming in, we will be seeing those mutas finally retreating, but this is seriously weakening the potential damage from those mutas. Oh, there's also a big attack happening in the third, but enough Zealots and everything to fend that off. But the mutas are not at that dangerous cloud of where they can reach go beyond the cloud and be a murder of mutas, but they're just not there because so many just fell.
Yeah, he must have had some reason though, and in the heat of the moment, of course, you're gonna make some slight mistakes, but that he just lost a lot of mutas. Unfortunately, he could have had like a murder of mutas at this point, like you said. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have that. Some nice force fields go down, and he does need the help of those zealots. Yeah, there they go.
Yeah, oh, but the blink back actually makes those sentries incredibly vulnerable, and there we see them getting picked off, and that is a big blow to Stardust.
Yeah, that was actually well worth it. All those sentries going down, absolutely worth any mutalist that went down with it. And he's still continuing on with the mutas. He's also getting banelings, which I think is a really cool style and something you don't see nearly as often anymore, in my opinion, because it's just so cool to see Protoss units explode to baneling hits.
And the thing is, taking out those sentries is now super important because those banelings can actually connect, and if they can kill off those zealots, which they do very quickly, it's going to be a very, very small army that Golden's going to end up needing to kill.
Yeah, so Golden just playing a very, very nice game, really just, dictating the flow of the game and then going above and beyond and just playing Stardust like a harp right now, unfortunately. Hopefully, though, with some high Templars and some nice storms, Stardust can come back in this game.
Yeah, this is a very cerebral game coming out from Golden. Everything is methodical, and it's forcing Stardust back, which is weird because Stardust is usually the one controlling the game. You see him starting to push out with the Immortals and everything to start, and then Protoss is the one that does not need to run around, and Zerg's the one needing to deal with all those War Prisms, needs to run around with all the aggression, but now Golden's the one keeping Stardust back.
Oh, I don't know about this. Storm is ready. Does he actually have any storms? He needs to land them on the Banelings. 1 goes down, 2 go down, and a lot of the Banelings went down to that, actually, so very, very nice by Stardust right there.
Oh, but there's so much more coming in now. They have centrifugal hooks. They're speedily going forward, but there is no creep for them. However, this spread of units from Stardust is going to minimize damage, plus the Archon. Oh, that Archon is a beautiful addition to that army.
That was actually beautiful. That was awesome. That could have gone so much worse for a lesser player, but that was like a perfect ring around Banelings, and the Archon was right in the middle. That was so cool.
Yeah, that was really well done. And also, just a little quick question from the chat is that there's no shields on a unit when they're warping, and that's not true. They go up in shields and health at the same rate, and when you take double damage and you're warping in, that's a very, very decreased set of health that you can actually hit with. But look at Golden. So he sent in Overlords as a fake drop and actually got a couple warpins tapping down there, and now we're going to have another attack coming in from Stardust, against Stardust, at his third.
Yep, but Stardust is on it, so nothing happening quite yet. He did try to take a 4th, and he does want to take a 4th, most definitely. Unfortunately, Golden's on top of it, not letting him. His hive is about halfway done, and of course he already has that spire, so should turn it into a greater spire as soon as that hive is done.
Yeah, now this is going to be really interesting. The question is, did Golden take too much time to go to Broodlords? Because now we're starting to see Stardust catching up in the supplies. He's got the Templar tech, he's got the Archon tech. So maybe if he had hit with Broodlords, say, a minute or 2 ago, that could potentially have been more dangerous than going to it now. That's one of the big things that you can do is overcommit to the mutas, and that's when being delayed in the cloud by losing the mutas unnecessarily at the start can delay the Broodlord switch and really hurt you.
Yep, excellent point. Now Stardust is he's making sure to move around. The possibility on Daybreak of counterattacks with links to your third is just something that always happens in games. So it's nice to see that Stardust is becoming, wiser and saying, I'm not going to let you get that counterattack through. And it looks like he was just waiting for a War Prism and is going to push out now.
Yeah, see, looking like there's still this Overlord that's been chilling outside of the natural expansion for Stardust this entire time. That's kind of funny to see that's just still alive.
Oh my God. Storm drop. I'm just gonna pay attention to it,
Yep, there it
alright?
is, and we're gonna see. Oh, it's
Oh,
actually a feedback
feedback
drop.
drop.
What?
I mean, I guess that that also plays a huge part. If you just lost the High Templar, I'd be like, I guess that's worth it. Losing the Warp Prism as well kind of sucks, but you know when you get there and there's not a whole lot of drones, you're severely disappointed as a Storm Dropper. So if he had moved to the natural, he would have been in the money, and that's just unfortunate choosing.
Yeah, now we're pushing forward with Stalkers is trying to do a little bit of aggression, but there's actually no observer with the army, so that creep just gets blatant vision of them pushing out. And Golden, he's only got 9 mutas flying around, and this unit's loss tab has been in favor of Stars this entire game. So Golden's just been a little too swarmy for his own good.
At the third, the Greatest Spire is being transfused, but it should go down. There's no Overseer in sight, but there are units there. Finally, an Overseer does join.
Oh my
Or, oh my
god.
God.
Wow. 33 health of him. What is that queen doing? I mean, that is... What?
It's loving it. It's like, oh, I'm so glad he didn't die.
I'm trying to be fancy with the camera, but it's not working. Oh well.
Oh, okay. But Golden should be very happy that didn't die. He needs those Broodlords to be made, and San is pushing right now. Where are the Broodlords making? One's done, one's on the way. There should be 4 more making.
Yeah, we are seeing them pushing forward as there we have some Banelings getting some shots off, doing some nice little bits of damage, but there's still more High Templar Storms available, and there we see them going on top of those Lings, and oh, that is going to be a dead cloud of Lings. There's just blood everywhere. This is a 30 kill High Templar that we are staring at right now, and it's going to get another couple with feedbacks. Oh, Stardust is doing some amazing Templar management right now. The micro is great from him, and he's just controlling everything. He was hitting with a Warp Prism in the main base a couple seconds ago as well. There's a Warp Prism here to help him reinforce. This is impeccable play.
Yeah, he's so good at those High Templars, and as you can see her right now. Barely any more Infestors on the field, and that's really what makes a Broodlord Infestor army is, hey, Infestors. So with only Broodlords and a few Queens, a blink under there could be very deadly for Golden.
Yeah, this is going to be kind of interesting to see how close. I kind of find it funny there's just changelings chilling there as well, but you have the Mutas now taking part in the battle, but they're going up against an Archon and a lot of Blink Stalkers. There's just so much more that can be done with Protoss units right now than the Zerg units.
Yep, and some more storms coming in. Man, he has High Templars of full energy all over the place, and they are blanketing damage on top of the Zerg army, even getting the Broodlords to move out of the way. And now, you know, San just has to deal with the units that are out front and then decide when to blink under those Broodlords. He is going to take out the 4th, though, and then just leave Golden on 3 bases, where at some place Golden really doesn't want to be.
Yeah, you can't support Hive Tech truly on 3 bases, and it's even worse when Protoss has the mothership out, has a ton of High Templars just gaining energy, morphing into Archons, and we just have Zealots coming in. The Zealots are complete with charge. They're 3-3-2. We only have one more shield upgrade to go before we have completely maxed ground upgrades, but the more important thing is that this means that the mothership also has shield upgrades, and it's going to be a little tankier.
Yeah, that's a really nice point. And what are the upgrades for Zerg? He has 3 on his attack for his melee, so that's pretty nice, but nowhere near Stardust upgrades. So even another thing that he's lacking. And this should be the final engagement. He doesn't really have an army, just these Broodlords and Queens is really all he has. And here come the High Templars to feed back whatever Infestors he has left.
Oh, and there's even a Storm to damage everything, and GG gets called. Golden will be losing this game number 2. So with that, the score is going to be going up to 1-1. So we have officially a best of 3 now starting as we have the players tied up, and this is really an incredible series to start off with.
Yeah, it is. I'm so glad it's going back and forth like this, and